Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Downington in Pennsylvania in America once again. And it's my first visit to this brewery in about 3 years actually. I can't believe it's been so long since I've reviewed one of their beers. But for this one we're going to return to Victory Brewing Company and we're having a taste of their hop ranch today, which is an Imperial IPA, double IPA, however you want to describe it. It comes in at 9% ABV. And it's pretty damn highly rated. It comes in at 98 on Rate Beer and 91 within the style, and it's hopped with Mosaic and Azacca hops. Those are two hops over in America that are really gaining popularity, so definitely looking forward to this one because I know Victory produced some good beers from my past experiences, and I hope you guys enjoy the review as well. So since it's a Pennsylvania beer review as well, I'll give a special shout out to Paul Romeli at PA Brew News. He sits in his cellar of death, magic and doom, listens to black metal and reviews American beers for you, so make sure you give him your patronage if you are particularly interested in Pennsylvania beers and in American beers in general. Very nice chap actually. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward of course. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other Victory reviews I've done before. Hopefully I can add some more in the near future. It's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. Of course, the whole channel has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the American beers that are reviewed for you, and that's constantly being added to. And please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review, especially from the Pennsylvania area, because I know there's some really good things out there. But the support and the input that you give to the channel is always hugely appreciated. It's great to hear from you guys, so don't hesitate to get in touch through the Facebook, the Twitter, the Untappd, or even the Instagram, whatever you like. Don't hesitate to get in touch. Great to hear from you guys. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Victory Brewing Company then. So as I mentioned to you, this brewery is based in Downington, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 miles away from Philadelphia. So Victory Brewing was founded by two friends, Ron Barchett and Bill Kovalevsky, who had been friends since 1973 when they were together in the 5th grade at school. But apparently they remained really good friends despite going to university on different coasts of the US. But a few months after finishing university, Bill's interest in beer and also access to his father's home brewing equipment made him want to further explore this home brewing hobby that he had. But in 1985 he gave Ron a home brewing kit as a Christmas present, and they really both started to get really kind of hooked on this thing, and it developed into a kind of friendly rivalry between the pair. But over time they gradually grew sick of their jobs in the corporate world and decided that they wanted to combine their skills in home brewing and create careers as brewers. So Ron quit his job as a financial analyst and began an apprenticeship with Baltimore Brewing Company, working under Dutch-born German-trained brewer Theo de Groen. And after working here for a year, Ron moved on to the Technical University of Munich at Weinstefan, a very good university in Germany of course, and that of course is the famous brewing school, home as well to the world's oldest brewery. But as Ron departed for Germany, Bill immediately took over Ron's role in Baltimore, and following his time in Baltimore, Bill actually travelled to Munich in Germany to study at the Domens Institute, another very famous brewing school of course, and Ron returned to the US after his year of study in Germany and took up a role at Old Dominion Brewing Company in Virginia, where he spent 4 years as brewmaster. But with all this knowledge that they'd gained, Bill and Ron decided that it was time for them to start their own brewery, and they settled on Pennsylvania as the location, which of course was where they first met. So Victory Brewing opened to the public on the 15th of February 1996, and they converted an old Pepperidge Farm factory into a 144-seater restaurant with a 70-foot brewery, which of course did have a full-scale brewing kit. And in that first year of operation they only produced a small amount of beer, which was 1,725 barrels of beer. But in more recent years they've actually expanded the size of the restaurant to 300 seats, and they also expanded the capacity of the brewery as well. They're now producing well over 125,000 barrels of beer per year, and they are planning to go beyond that. They are a pretty big operation these days, and they probably, I'm pretty sure they are the best known Pennsylvania craft brewery these days. Maybe the biggest one by volume, but I might not be sure about. I'm not certain of that, I have to say, but at least outside of the US I can tell you this is probably the best known Pennsylvania craft beer. It's actually very widely exported these days as well. So yeah, that's enough about the brewery just now. If you want to learn more about them, of course, do check out the link to the brewery website in the description below. They've got a whole host of different beers. They've got quite a big core range, I think about 15 or 20 beers in their kind of regular core range. They've got a lot of different seasonal beers, barrel aging and stuff like that as well. They're always trying new stuff. They are very prolific, so do make sure you try some some of these beers if you come across them. They are of very good quality, and when you try these beers, from what I remember, you can kind of notice the German influence on the brewing and things like that. The German beer styles that they produce do tend to be very, very good. So yeah, just check them out if you get the chance. But let's move on to the tasting section of this video then. So let me just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. There we are. So there you can see, quite simply done. The red V, of course, is the symbol of Victory Brewing Company. There you can see that on the bottle cap. I'll just read the little blurb on this one for you. So, to quiet collaborators we raise this glass. Our hop ranchers, with their boots in the dirt and their eyes to the skies, indulge Mother Nature with all attention necessary to coax and cultivate our enticing and flavourful hops. Selecting the finest varieties in their natural whole flower form, we devote our best efforts to crafting this very hop forward ale as a celebration of their successes. Pungent, floral and intense, this represents America's best in every relaxing sip. So it's signed Bill and Ron, the brewmasters of Victory Brewing Company, Downington, Pennsylvania. So yeah, really nicely presented this one there. You can see all the hop flowers at the bottom there. But yeah, without further ado then, we'll get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting. I'm really looking forward to this one actually. So yeah, nice smoky opening on this one, and we'll get it out and into the glass. Yeah, really nice looking beer, this one. So as you can see, this beer's poured a really nice kind of, it's actually a very light kind of pale golden straw colour actually. Well, not quite strawy, it does have a little bit of orange to it, but it's more of a yellow colour, this one, than an orangey colour. I think that's fair to say. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see there is some degree of transparency to it, but at the same time it does have some opacity. So there's big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. But it does look very, very nice. Really nice looking beer, this one. You can smell some of these nice tropical fruits coming off the beer, of course. It is hopped with Mosaic and Azacca, of course. Azacca, of course, I've only had a couple of beers that have this hop in it, but it does seem to have some really nice orangey notes, and you can pick up the sort of tangerines that you're going to get from both of these hops just as you're moving the beer around. But really looks like a nice beer, so we'll take a closer look at the aroma now then. Oh yeah, that's really nice. As I always say with the beers, it is good just to take a few minutes or whatever and just enjoy the aroma of it before you get stuck in, because it really, that's half the experience with craft beer and whiskey and things. You really just need to enjoy the aroma before you taste it. So this is really nice. I mean, there's a lot of tangerine orange coming out of this one, and that of course is from both of the hops, the Azacca and the Mosaic. There's a little bit of a sort of mango-y character coming out of this one, which I think does tend to come more from the Azacca hop. There's a little bit of pineapple, which again I think is the Azacca. The mangoes are maybe more the Mosaic. But there's quite a lot of interest in tropical fruit in this. The oranges are the stronger element in this beer. So there's a little bit of orangey character. Mainly tangerines, to be honest. It's more tangerines than orange. But yeah, some mangoes, the pineapple. The papaya for me is coming out quite a bit in this. Maybe some apricots and pineapples in there as well. It's just a nice, underneath the oranges, there's a nice kind of dose of these lighter, kind of more tropical fruity notes. The oranges are stronger right enough, but underneath that it's got quite a nice, just juicy tropical fruit character, this beer. There's a little bit of a floral element to this one. There's not really any piney resins or anything, which you can get a little bit of from Mosaic. But it does smell a little bit more floral to me, and there's a light kind of grassy character to the beer as well. The malt notes are very simple, you know, it's just a kind of pale, sort of bready malt thing, and of course when it's just Pilsner malt that's in this one, that is exactly what you're going to expect. But yeah, it does smell like a really quite nice beer, this. So if you get the chance to try it, I highly recommend that you do. Yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy this one. The fruity notes on this one do smell really, really nice. So let's get stuck into the beer then. So this one is the Hop Ranch, a double IPA brewed with Pilsner malt, Mosaic and Azacca hops from Victory Brewing Company based in Downington, Pennsylvania. Slàinte Skål. Oh yeah, that's pretty good actually. It's interesting because normally when you have a double IPA, of course, you expect, you know, a nice kind of big, slightly caramelly, boozy malt base, but this one just doesn't have that. And it makes it quite unusual. You know, it's almost like a double IPA, an Imperial IPA on the hoppy side of things, but then the malt base is more like an APA, like just a regular pale ale. And it's a really kind of unusual combination, actually. Yeah, it really is interesting. I've never had an Imperial IPA that is quite as light in the malt base as this one. I would never have thought just to use Pilsner malt. If I was home brewing, I never would have thought to just use Pilsner malt in a double IPA, but it certainly works quite well. But you do have a little bit more boozy warmth from it. It doesn't cover the booze as well as some of the other Victory Brewing ones that I've had, but it's certainly a really nice beer. The hoppy side of this beer is quite nice, and it's more just a surprise that they can balance it as well, just simply with Pilsner malt. It does work, but it's just an unusual combination of flavours. But the hops in this one come out really nice. I mean, the malt base, like I was saying, is very simple. The Pilsner malt's there, you can feel that sort of pale, slightly white bready character just going right across the middle of your tongue. As the flavour progresses, you do get a little bit of a kind of biscuity, syrupy sweetness out of it. But really, as you would expect with this beer, the main focus is on the hops. And around the edges of your palate, there's a teeny bit of earthiness, but as you come further forward, it's mainly a floral character. It's a slightly spicy floral aromaticity that's coming out of this beer. That's nice. There's a lot of nice kind of juicy oranges coming out of this beer, a kind of tangerine element to it, I would say. Yeah, that's good. That really is nice. As you go round the front curve in this one, you've got the lighter kind of grassy elements of the hops. Like if you come up the sides of your palate, you can feel the slightly spicy floral aromaticity coming out of the beer. There's maybe a tiny little bit of herbal character in there as well. I think that's maybe the Azacca hop. In the beers I've had previously, the Azacca hop tends to have a little bit of just a very slight herbal character, but it's nice and it blends with the floral character very nicely. Around the front curve of the palate though, it's definitely lighter and grassy, and then these fruity notes are just coming out behind the front curve of your palate there. You'll get that little oily bubble where these nice fruity esters just start to push their way out. But yeah, that's really nice, this one. I do like how it goes together, but as I say, the unusual element of it is that the malt base just doesn't have that caramel and boozy thing that you normally expect of the double IPA. But yeah, the fruity character's interesting. There's the tangerine, the orangey notes are sitting in there as well. But I'm actually feeling that as I move into the aftertaste, it does feel that there's a little bit of passion fruit in there. Maybe grapefruit as well. You can just feel a little bit of that lingering behind the front curve of your palate there as the beer goes into the aftertaste. But definitely there's tangerines. There's a sort of peachy flavour in this one as well, which is quite interesting, because I don't think either of those hops tend to give you peachy flavours, but I'm certainly picking that up. But there's a whole host of things, you know, there's a little bit of mango, there's the peaches, there's apricot in there, and there's a little bit of papaya that starts to come out in the aftertaste as well. It's really interesting. That's what is really good about these two hops, is that you've got the strong element of flavour from the oranges, the tangerines, but you've also got these kind of slightly lighter notes that start to come out more and more in the aftertaste from the Azacca and from the Mosaic. You've got, as I'm saying, you've got the mangoes, you've got a little bit of pineapple, some peaches, apricots, papayas, all of these sort of thing. It really is just nice that you can feel lots of different things going on there behind the front curve of your tongue, and maybe that's why they've done it the way they have. They want to try and bring out really the fruity elements of this hop, and that's maybe why they've just gone for a Pilsner malt in this one. But it works very well. It's interesting how they've made this beer balance out just with that simple malt base. Because normally with a double IPA you do want it just have a little bit more sweetness than this, but it really does work with the way the fruits come out of the beer. So if you're going to try this one, you know, I'd recommend it to people who like orangey flavours. The orange flavour in this beer really is a little bit more prominent. If you're not really used to the Mosaic hop or the Azacca hop, if you like Citra, if you enjoy the Citra hop, I think this is one, these two hops that are in this beer, you are going to enjoy if you try them on their own or if you try them in combination like this. And like I said at the start of the video, they are gaining popularity with brewers in America. This is the third beer now that I've tried with Azacca hop in it, and it really is quite nice. So I'm sure we'll start to see some of the brewers over here in Europe use it fairly soon. I don't think I've tried any Danish or Swedish beers that have actually used that hop, but we'll see how that progresses. But yeah, a really quite nice beer, this one. Just be aware of it if you try it, that it does have a very kind of light malt base to it. It's not sweet in the same way that you'd normally expect from a double IPA. In terms of the mouthfeel, this one, so I'd say this guy is mid-bodied. It is light for a double IPA, and that's purely down to the malt-based things that I've described to you already. Carbonation is moderate. You know, the mouthfeel is pretty. The mouthfeel. This one is slightly oily. It's got a little bit of wetness to it as well. You've got a little bit of sweetness from the malt base, but mainly it's fairly smooth. There is just a little bit of a biscuity element to it as well, but it's got some nice hoppy bitter character. It's not that big on the IBUs. It really is kind of just nice and smoothly done, but the main point of this beer, I think, is the fruity aspect to the beer. The juicy fruits in this one are really what make it stand out, and it's cool to see these two hops that are gaining popularity just kind of blending together. It's got a nice big orangey hit at the start, tangerine orange hit, and then it just moves into these lighter tropical fruit notes. So if you enjoy Citra hop, this is a beer that I definitely recommend in that regard. If you like Amarillo as well, actually, if you like Amarillo or Pacifica as well from New Zealand, if you like orange flavours in your beer, then this is one for me that you are definitely going to enjoy. But again, it's another very, very solid beer from Victory Brewing Company, and in my experience of these guys, they do some really, really good stuff. So I need to review some more of their beers. I guess the Storm King is one that I really need to have a look at, because that's got a very, very good reputation. So I'll see if I can get a hold of that for you. But the Hop Ranch certainly is a really good beer, and this is one that they release every year, so, or at least as I understand it. So yeah, another really, really good beer from Victory Brewing Company. I'll try and not leave it as long until my next review from these guys, but it's really cool to return to them, and hopefully I can review some more Pennsylvania beers for you very, very soon. So yeah, the Hop Ranch from Victory Brewing Company in Downington, Pennsylvania. It's a really, really nice beer, definitely for lovers of kind of orange-leaning IPAs. Really, really good. So yeah, thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out all my social media and that in the description below as well. And if you have tried this beer, let me know your own thoughts on it in the comment section below. Always interesting to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and please do give me some recommendations of other Victory Brewing beers that you'd like to see me review. I think I've reviewed the Prima Pils, one of the Pale Ales, and there was one of the other beers, the name escapes me at the moment, but I do want to review the Storm King at some point soon. But do tell me your favourite Victory Brewing beers, and let me know your own thoughts on this one as well. And do give me recommendations of other Pennsylvania breweries as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. Until the next time, it's Landed Just Now. Make sure you check out the Hop Ranch, one of the seasonal beers from Victory Brewing Company in Downington, Pennsylvania. Make sure you check out Paul at PA Brew News as well. It's Landed Just Now.